Howdy, folks. Welcome back to The Mandalorian, where you have 2 episodes left. We are up to Season 3, Episode 7, Chapter 23. Oh, boy. Okay, so last episode was a bit controversial, I see. Just as I kind of predicted at the end of my reaction when I said myself that I was a little conflicted, because part of me was like, why are we wasting so much time with this fluffy story? But then I also really liked it, so I can't really complain too much because it was enjoyable. Um, but I did enjoy the ending quite a bit because it progressed the story, although it seemed to almost progress it a little too fast. There wasn't a lot of conflict, but I was fine with that too. Overall, I liked it. I know a lot of people hated it, which is kind of interesting. Some of my favorite reactors, not some of my favorite reactors, one of my favorite reactors, basically didn't even post a reaction, said they absolutely hated it. And it made me sad. I would have liked to have seen their reaction at the time to help understand why they hated it so much. But most people seemed to enjoy it, but there was a lot of controversy out there. Anyway, regardless, on the main storyline, Bo has taken command of her forces again. She has earned the Darksaber. A lot of people, and I don't get this either, a lot of people saw the logic that was used, which was sound logic as to why she earned the Darksaber, and they're like, no, that's a technicality. That doesn't count. Well, of course it counts. She didn't think at the time it counted. He didn't think at the time it counted. But when he thought about it and realized, hey, wait a minute, she took it from somebody who took it from me, that makes her the rightful owner. Yeah, it does. And in fact, the other Mandalorians agreed. Now, some might say, well, they agreed easily because they'd rather have her have it than him. Okay, whatever reason, the logic still holds. So I'm not as hung up on that as some people. But anyway, she's got her forces. We have Din, the armorer, and the Children of the Watch. And they're together, or going to be together. Maybe that's part of this episode. I don't know. Is there anybody else out there? Is there Sabine out there? I know we just got the trailer for Ahsoka after the last episode, and part of me is thinking, now they've shown Sabine in live action in the trailer. Now they're free to show her here to set up the Ahsoka series. So I'm still very hopeful. Let's go. Let's see what's on. Let's see what's happening. Are we back on Coruscant? Please, no, don't stay here for long, please. Is this Dr. Pershing? Oh, no. Okay. But still, don't stay here for long. Although, I guess they're trying to set up, the whole Moff Gideon connection. Because I came up with the crazy theory. I should have made a video. I was going to make a video. But the crazy theory was that you're going to find Sabine coming into this show as a direct result of Moff Gideon being here because they're trying to hunt down Grand Admiral Thrawn, and they believe he has a connection. So that's going to tie Sabine into this. That's my thought. That's my theory. That's my crazy theory. And maybe even Ahsoka, but I doubt that. Maybe. But again, they need to set up the Ahsoka series, so there's got to be something in here in the last 2 episodes. So she's here because she's going to help us get back into the Moff Gideon story, which will connect to, I believe, because my theory is if those TIE interceptors that attacked Bo's house and destroyed Bo's house, she herself pointed out that they weren't from any warlord. There was too many of them. So they were from Grand Admiral Thrawn's fleet. They were. Try to say that 10 times fast. They were from his fleet. That means he's in the Mandalorian system somewhere, probably. Which means the Mandalorians are going to come in conflict with him, which means there's going to have to be a battle if they want to take back Mandalore. They haven't really established, and I get this from a lot of people, they haven't spent a lot of time establishing this whole take back Mandalore story. I get that, and I agree to some degree. If they're there in the system, which I think they are, I think they're hiding out in that system because nobody goes there because Mandalore is dead. Then there's going to be a conflict. They're going to have to kick them out. Or try to kick them out. And then that's where I think we get the whole Sabine, possibly even Ahsoka connection as well, because they want Grand Admiral Thrawn. So I think there'll be a connection there. And she's just establishing that Moff Gideon is also around We're not going to probably see Thrawn. We won't see Thrawn, I don't think. But I think we'll see some of his ships, and I think we'll see Moff Gideon as our bad guy, our antagonist, main one. So anyway, that's why I think we're here. I don't think we're going to be here very long. I hope, please, even though Moff Gideon is part of the main storyline, I want the Mandos. I just want the Mandos. Definitely an Imperial droid.
TK-2755. Trouble on Navarro.
And there he is.
That's why I contacted you with haste.
Oh my goodness! So he knows that at the time that the Children of the Watch and the Bo-Katan's forces, for lack of a better word, were sworn enemies. Now, part of me in the back of my brain is like, did he try in his years in position here? You know, it's been 5-6 years since the fall of the Empire, whatever it is. Has he been trying to drive a wedge as well? Has he been playing a part in that? Or is he just stating what he's observed, what his intelligence was? All right, where are you, man? Okay. He's got to be in the presence of, like, Grand Admiral Thrawn here or something, right? With all this security and these... Yeah, come on. Not that we'll see him. Although they're spending a lot of time here. Oh, all the leaders, former leaders of the Empire. Maybe it's just all the warlords, quote-unquote, in a council. I'm wondering if any of these are faces that we should know that I just don't know yet, or just don't remember, or haven't put two and two together. It has all been a ruse. These warlords, this concept of the warlords, no, they're different unit leaders of Grand Admiral Thrawn's fleet, of the old Imperial fleet. So yeah, it's been all well organized. It's not just little like everybody suspected. The New Republic thought that it's just little pockets of warlords who have little ragtag, derelict Imperial stuff. Nope.
Will increase their effort. Grand Admiral Thrawn's return will
there we go.
herald in the re-emergence.
Necromancer, raising the dead. What is Project Necromancer? Hello. Palpatine.
Dr. Pershing was captured by the New Republic.
And his research is lost, but you arranged that. Was he doing this just to make the current leader of this group fail? Because he doesn't believe Thrawn really exists anymore? That he thinks he's dead or missing? So he's trying to take command, and the way to do that is to ruin their efforts so that the current commander looks like a failure?
Research is lost.
So it's a combination of what the New Republic thinks and the truth. Most of these little warlords are little pockets with derelict troops and equipment, but only because the main force is withholding them. Wait a minute, because they weren't his forces like I thought. They weren't. If he didn't have bombers, or maybe he's just looking for more. Maybe that was the max of his fleet, was those TIE interceptors and bombers. I don't know. I'm so confused.
Yes, I
Confused about who actually did the attack on Bo.
see.
Okay, so this was very useful to kind of understand the structure of the Empire after the quote-unquote fall of the Empire. And it's also setting up, like I said, there's not going to be Thrawn in The Mandalorian. It's going to be Moff Gideon, but he's got extra forces now from the rest of the Imperials coming in to help him fight the Mandalorian. So that's the fight that's coming. And it's... So I'm still kind of taken aback to when Din and the armor and Bo were talking about taking back Mandalore. They weren't talking about fighting any forces that like held it, because nobody was holding it. They were talking about reclaiming a world that had been destroyed, right? But they're in for a fight. So they don't think they're in for a fight. They think they're going there to become settlers and to rebuild, but they're in for a fight. The spies, that's good and bad. One is, unfortunately, it's not going to be a battle, probably this episode. And the plural spies. We know of one. Is there one amongst the Mandalorians? Was Moff Gideon so convinced or so surprised that they were joining forces, the two factions were joining forces, because somebody high up or important in one of the groups was one of his spies? Which one was it? And I'm sure it'll be a person we know. Which side and which one? Okay, let's go through it because I need to. I don't think it'd be the armorer, because the armorer lost a lot of her people to Gideon's forces. She didn't stop them from fighting to save Din and Grogu. She destroyed a bunch of stormtroopers, which you wouldn't think that she would necessarily do. She was very angry with their little mini purge in the sewers here on this planet. So it's not her. I don't think it's Vizsla. And no, there's too much. It's too personal for him, what's going on here, so I don't think he's a spy. It's going to be one of Bo's people, right? I don't think it's going to be the guy who was in charge that she fought, but maybe the female second that we saw from the last season of Mandalorian, season 2. I think it might be her. That's my bet right now. This is the Mandalorian vessel, though. Yeah. It's an Imperial ship. Yeah, it's an Imperial ship, but it's marked with that was the mythosaur underneath it, right? Very impressive.
They've never met.
Look at Grogu. He used to always sit. He would sit by her side, and now he's in her lap.
And what little
They're gonna come out of here without helmets on, though. Gonna make them feel uneasy. Oh no, they have helmets on. John, where's the armor? Oh, he did get IG-11 working. Oh, kinda, sorta. Uh-oh, don't play with him.
Bad baby. No, it's crazy.
Oh no. The plan is to get Grogu to drive this thing?
When he's older.
No.
No.
I think he's saying he
There.
No.
No, at least let me try it out in my office.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
He loves it.
Yes. Yes.
Stop saying it.
Yes.
Hey, Grogu.
No.
Give it
Uh-oh. This is very cute in a Star Wars kind of cute way, which makes me smile, as you can see. I don't know how practical it is. I mean, does he have access to his weapons? He loves being able to walk around instead of just floating around in an egg, I guess. He seems to really love it. The egg seems far more practical for him, but he can't really fight from it. Maybe he can fight from this. I imagine there's some way to drop some sort of protective shield in front of him. I hope. Because he's really vulnerable sitting there. We'll see where it goes. Still a lot of distrust here amongst these groups. I think she might be the spy. If there's one spy among them, I'm going to predict it's her. The spy is going to be one of these volunteers, probably. The armor should volunteer. They're going to go find the Great Forge. She should volunteer. And she will probably watch. There she is.
I will go.
Armor is walking up.
I will go as well.
I don't think that he needs to worry about them leaving his homeworld or his planet here, because they're still his friends. Just because they're going to reclaim their homeworld, he knows they were doing that. They're still going to remain his friends and his allies, right? So just because they're not living there doesn't mean anything else. But they're always welcome. So don't worry, Karga. They've returned to Mandalore! What a great shot. I notice also that they have IG-12 now. 11B, whatever. He called it 12. I'm sure there probably was an IG-12. That it's another benefit of having it as a Grogu-driven vehicle is they don't have to get Taika. Was that Taika Waititi saying yes and no, though? Maybe it was. I was going to say they don't have to get him to voice many lines or do anything like that, but which they don't. They might have taken the yes and the no from previous recordings and just paid him for it or something, but it's still kind of cool. Gonna have a conversation here between these two. I always like an armor den conversation. Hang on, who are these people? Are they Mandos? Was a Mandalorian.
So?
You would not forsake us, Lady Bo-Katan.
Since these guys are older, I'm assuming they're from her era, but more importantly, I think they might be. I don't know, but I bet you other actors are going to know that they're maybe voice actors that have played Mandalorians in the Clone Wars, maybe, or Rebels. I have to remember to check the credits and compare them, cross-check them. Is that how he got? Is she explaining how he got the Darksaber? Because he defeated her and her forces in battle, and she surrendered, thereby granting him the Darksaber? No, maybe she's not the spy. The reaction she just gave.
After.
She's being very honest with them. I mean, it's making some of them angry, but some of them can see that was her only choice and that she regrets it and that it pains her.
Death Watch exists no longer. It's shattered into many warring factions.
It is always our own division that destroys us.
She and the armor are in agreement on that one.
I understand.
Yeah, it helped Din understand, and the armor as well. Although the armor may have known.
These are the reasons I serve you, Lady Kreese.
That's the first time he's ever said he serves her as opposed to being an ally.
I will serve you until it is.
Is he going to make... Somebody's going to have to make a comment about the horns on her helmet someday.
Those of you who are well enough can join us in the search for the Great Forge.
They know where it is. Okay, so his crew was more than just the three that landed and spoke to them. Okay. You know, it just dawned on me that there's the imagery of these older Mandalorians, surviving on their own after Imperial forces have devastated their people. Reminds me very much of those characters from Rebels, the ex-clones, who our team ran into, including Rex. Right, Rex was one of the ones that they ran into. Older with the gray beards and. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. Well, the armor can fly. A gauntlet. Oh no. We're seeing her flying up. It's not just a given that she makes it. Are we going to discover that the Imperial forces are out there already? Disagreement about the rules of chess. He's going to fight him. This might be, even though you think this is contrary to unification, this might actually help them.
Should I step in?
Neither side can step in.
No.
Yeah, neither side can step in. He's not quite technically a child of the Watch. He hasn't taken the creed. He's a Jedi.
No.
Not quite a Jedi either, but you know what I mean.
No.
You taught your apprentice well.
You didn't learn that from me.
Aw, he gave him a nod. Did you see Grogu give him a nod? Alright, what's up here? Okay. It's the Mandalorian fleet for now. Uh-oh. Is that a big monster? It is. Are we finally going to see some rocket packs? Come on. Backpack rockets, jetpack rockets. You know what I mean. You'd think after so many years on the surface that they were able to spot this creature before it emerged, that they'd have ways to avoid it, but they just drove straight towards it and then had to abandon their ship. That's kind of stinks of plot convenience, but I'll accept it. Uh-oh. Imperial jetpacks. I like how the jetpacks have a slight hint of TIE sound to them. Okay, that's kind of, in my mind, kind of proven it that they are the ones who rescued Moff Gideon. They're the ones who embedded the Beskar alloy in the shuttle, the Lambda shuttle. And it makes sense, doesn't it, that Gideon, who had a huge source of Beskar, because that's what he paid Din in, or his agent paid Din in, would have Beskar armored stormtroopers, basically. And he also had, of course, the robotic ones as well that they fought at the end of season 2. Lay down cover? You're taking people out. Why don't you just keep shooting and kill them all? Nope, you got jetpacks. You're not going to die. So these stormtroopers are like every other stormtrooper. They can't aim very well. They just luckily hit one Mandalorian. And they don't fight very well. Even at close quarters, they're useless. There's actually an Imperial... That's where he was. That's where Gideon was in the beginning. His Imperial base is in Mandalore. Wow. Has he gotten his personal protection 3 guards that he asked for? Why 3? And are they really that good? It's a trap. It's way too convenient that they got through and that these guys retreated when they did. This has got to be a trap. They're going to capture them. The one that got away is the one who's going to bring everybody else down to rescue these guys. They're all going to be captured. Yep. They're going to force his helmet off, too. Gideon with a jetpack and a Mandalorian-style, well, Stormtrooper-style helmet. Come on. It's over the top, but I love it.
It's your time.
Bo, you have the Darksaber, which could cut through that stuff. Why aren't you doing that? Don't want to show your hand, but why weren't you doing it before? One of the tropes of fiction is that everybody just calmly sits down and listens to his big speech about his plans, which helps us as the audience understand what's going on, clearly, but kind of unrealistic, but anyway.
Why don't we take your fleet off the board?
Oh, no.
We still have the element of surprise. This is the part where you return the Darksaber to its rightful owner.
How would he even know she has it? His spies? No, she's not going to do it.
This is the way.
Yeah, she's going to cut through the backside. Yeah. Will he fit through that hole? Or is he going to go down fighting? It's getting red hot. Anybody who's played a video game knows, yep, they're pointing it out. It's going to go on cooldown soon. He's going to run out of the ability to shoot. He's going to be either killed or captured. It's interesting. I don't know which I think should happen. If he's captured, they're going to take his helmet off, which might force him to be like Din. But if he's killed, first of all, he's going to orphan his boy. Well, at least make him fatherless, which is sad, of course. But it's a great heroic ending. He's got a rocket. Doesn't he have a rocket? I bet he doesn't. I bet his backpack doesn't carry a rocket. It carries instead additional fuel source for his gun. Oh no. The big guards. He's going to take one of them out. Come on. Oh, they killed him. Rest in peace, Paz Vizsla. He went out like a hero. Wow. I guess this had some fighting after all. I didn't think it would. I thought it would all be set up and spies, and it was called The Spies. But they only revealed one spy. Right? I mean, if they revealed more than one, let me know in the comments. I don't. The one I suspected might be a spy on the Mandalorian side didn't look like she was. Coruscant. I am going to check the credits. This was the Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni written episode, of course. So his base was on Mandalore the whole time. Makes sense, I guess. I loved when the fleet with the Mythosaur markings came in. That was awesome. I love this. It's a bit impractical in the sense that he's so vulnerable. It moves slower than the egg does. But I think he loves the fact that he can say yes and no very easily, which of course proves he completely understands everybody, which everybody pretty much concluded anyway. He has the ability to interact with arms, so I guess it's an improvement for him. I'm glad they didn't go with how many wires are sticking out of the back of it, like in the conceptual art here. And the cabin looks a little more cramped in the conceptual art as well. But I did notice this before, and I want to point out he's got his little silvery balls back. You know, he liked to play with that one ball, the knob from Mando's ship. He's got two of them now to play with. So they gave us very much a pirate movie with a sea monster. A little bit of it stuck in the middle of this, which was kind of cool. Like I said, I'll go with it because it was exciting, but it was kind of a plot convenience that somehow, after surviving so many years, decades, here on the surface, avoiding these things, being able to spot them, they just couldn't avoid them now. But anyway, it was still fun. It forced them to leave the ship, which is what they had to do anyway. All right, time to check out the cast, see if those older Mandos were, voice actors or something that I didn't recognize. Okay, what do we got here? So I noticed that they did credit Taika Waititi with the yes and no. That makes sense. I knew I recognized Charles Parnell from The Last Ship, the Master Chief. Knew I'd seen him before. So no, neither of those two scouts has any credit to do with any Filoni, Favreau thing or Star Wars thing. So they were just chosen because of their age, I guess, and their ability, obviously, as actors. So anyway, so more of the discussion of what's going on here. This episode turned out to be really good. I was concerned when we opened up on Coruscant that it was going to be more politics and, spy work and stuff like that. But it was just very brief, an introduction to show us where Gideon was, to teach us, reveal a lot of information about how the Empire is surviving and organized and structured after this, and how even the Imperial warlords have been told that Grand Admiral Thrawn was in charge and he was around and is alive, but nobody's ever seen him. Nobody's ever heard of seeing him. Like Gideon said, he's got ears everywhere and he hasn't heard a peep. I guess that either means, well, we know he exists. We saw the teaser for Ahsoka. But it would either mean he's very good at hiding or he really doesn't exist. But we know he exists, so I guess he's really good at hiding. The Mandalorian team, tribes, I guess you'd call them. I guess that's the word they're using. Met up. There was a little bit of discontent, but they seem to be working together as a team when they need to. And I like the speech from Bo about how we're always defeated when we're separated, and it's kind of exactly echoing what the armorer said. When we fight amongst ourselves is when we are defeated. We can't be defeated if we don't fight amongst ourselves. I enjoyed that quite a bit. We learned more about how finally the question, how did Moff Gideon get the Darksaber, has been answered. A lot of people were like, how did that happen? You got to answer that. They did. She tried to sue for peace to save her people, which really plays into her family, right? Her sister was a pacifist, and her other members of her family, I think, were kind of aligned that way. She was the rebel, who was more of a fighter. And so it looks like at the end she tried to be like her sister and be a diplomat and sue for peace, and it failed miserably. And that's how he got it, because she surrendered to him, so he won the saber from her. I like how this time when he said, give me that saber because I've defeated you, sort of thing, she's like, nope. I knew she could cut through that stuff, but I was surprised it took that long to decide to try it. As soon as that wall fell, she could have whipped it out and started cutting it, which would have avoided a lot of stuff. But they needed to set that up, so Din is now in custody. And Grogu is with the rest of them. Unfortunately, Paz Vizsla appears to be dead. The one guard shoved that it's the same sort of staff that they use to fight lightsabers. So it's got similar energies, and was able to break through the Beskar and basically stabbed him straight down through his chest. So I think he's dead. Be shocked if he wasn't, actually. But it was a really badass way to go out. So good for him. Unfortunately, now his son is fatherless. But I think he has a mother. I think we saw his mother in the reunion scene when he got rescued. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he has a mother. Otherwise, he'll just be raised by the tribe, The fact that there were survivors here the whole time. Not a lot, but there were surviving Mandalorians who just kind of skirted around to stay alive. Was a good reveal, an interesting reveal. I liked it. So there's even more tribes coming together, so to speak. And we're left, like I said, with Din in custody. So obviously we're going to see some Pedro Pascal face next episode, because he's not going to leave the helmet on. Gideon will have the helmet removed. And what will that mean to Din? I mean, he can go bathe in the waters again, or is he finally just going to say, you know what? I'm a Mandalorian. And he pledged literally his undying devotion to Bo-Katan. He said he's basically going to serve her until her story is written, which means he's going to serve her the rest of her life, is basically what he's saying. He sees so much in her that he respects. So him taking his helmet off, I don't think that's beyond the question at this point. It's going to happen. I mean, it's going to be taken off for him, and then he's going to realize he doesn't need to keep it on all the time. So he's not going to be a child of the Watch anymore. He's going to be a regular Mandalorian, I guess, for lack of a better word. This was I need time to kind of absorb all of this. I don't know everything that happened. I think I want to go rewatch it after this and see the bits I missed. But you guys, if you think I've missed something big, let me know. Let me know what you thought about this episode, which I thought was a really good episode. I kind of wish every episode was like this, but it is what it is. And next week is going to be amazing, because next week is going to be the battle in space, right, in orbit. Who's going to survive? I'm sure they're going to lose some ships, smaller ones, hopefully. Hopefully they don't lose their big one. Is anybody going to come help them? Are we going to get Sabine come in the finale with forces and help them? Because, like I said, they're trying to find Grand Admiral Thrawn. If they've got a lead that Gideon knows where Thrawn might be, they would make sense that they would come. I sure hope so. I sure hope we see Sabine. Come on, they got to set up Ahsoka. And she's a Mandalorian, and they're fighting for Mandalore. Come on. Got to bring her in for the final episode. Anyway, do you guys think she'll be in for the final episode? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.